So I'm here building a Poly 318 for a guy in Colorado, and I've got all 7 pistons in, and I'm getting ready to put the 8th one in. And I thought maybe it'd be interesting for folks to see how this is done. So I start by rinsing the piston off. I've already put the rod on it. Wrist pins are in there, and I check the clips to make sure that's all right. But anyway, this guy's already ready to go. Dot goes to the front of the block. So I orient it properly, and then it tells me that this is the top up here. And then I put 2 marks on the piston. That tells me where to index the oil control rings, because if the oil control ring end gaps are down on the bottom, it's likely to smoke. This is our ring expander. I always position the gap over the wrist pin. I've always done it my whole life. These are the 2 scraper rings that I was talking about that you have to index. And so I put the first one on the bottom, index here, and then the second one goes here. All right, make sure it moves freely in the groove, which it does. We're done with these. Now we have our second compression ring, which is right here. Has a dot on it, which dot goes up in this case. It's not always the case, but that's the case of this one. All right, so I always get my tabs in the groove. This is very scary. I'm gonna break one putting it on. They're cast iron. Okay, make sure it moves nice. I usually position it over one of the skirts. And the last ring is a top compression ring. It's got a, I think it's moly coated. I think that's what that is. Anyway, there's no top or bottom to it. Same thing, use the ring tool. Install it. And I'm positioning that gap away from the other one, so I have gaps opposite of each other. And that is the ring installation. Next thing you do is put the ring compressor on it. It's already pre-adjusted and everything, so I know where that goes. All right, I flip it over. Give us a little toot of air before I put the bearing in. We install our rod bearing. First thing I always do is I look at the back, make sure it says standard or 010 if it's 10 under crank, but this is a standard crank. So we'll install it. All right. There's one more in here. Goes in the rod end cap. Again, it says standard, so we're okay. All right. This motor is going to be sitting for a long time. It's not going to get started right away because the car is being restored. So we're going to use lubriplate grease. Some guys like to use STP. Some guys use motor oil. There's all kinds of things you can do. My whole life, for over 40 years of doing this, this is what I've always done, and this has always served me well. All right. As you can see this over here, I'm going to put some grease in the cylinder. I'll run some around the top there like that. And so much for the grease. I don't know if you can see that from over here, but we're going to install this piston now, which is the top, which would be this one. I made this little tool. This is it's a UHMW, piece of UHMW. I drilled and threaded the end of it, and what it does is it provides me a way to guide the piston down in without hitting the crankshaft. See, I can do this, don't have to worry about it. Okay. Next thing we do is we square the ring compressor. Then I like to take and pour some motor oil on top of the piston. What that does, that I push it around, that goes down around the ring compressor and provides some lubrication as the piston is driven down in. I want to make sure it's all square, which it is. We're going to give it a couple of short whacks and it should go in. All right. Put it on down to the bottom. the tool, which is not easy because my hands are oily now. A rod end cap. Make sure the notches are lined up properly. We have 2 retaining nuts, which I put oil on both threads. And the mating surfaces are together. I'm gonna run them down just really quick with this. And the next thing we do is make sure it's going to turn over. And that's it. Now I'll torque all the rod nuts down to, I think it's 45 foot-pounds. I'll have to check the spec, but that's the end of that.